my lovelies. It is time for round 54 of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. Hey, hello, hi. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Have I Read It is one of my multiple ways that I pick my TBR for the upcoming month. Or in this case, have you helped me pick my TBR for the upcoming month. So the way this works is I am going to react to a haul that I did over 3 years ago, and I tell you if I've read the book, if I haven't read the book, or if I've unhauled the book. And out of all the books that I still own that I have not read, you get to vote and tell me which book or books you want me to read in the upcoming month. So the way it goes is if I've read, or if I have 10 or less unread, then I only have to pick the #1 voted book. If I have 11 to 20, I have to pick the top 2 voted books, and so on and so on. Okay, so today I'm going to be reacting to my Book Expo Book Con YA and Adult Book Haul Part 1. Because I think I split this into 2 parts for the YA and Adult because there were so many. My animals are being just absolutely absurd too. So I'm gonna be muting it while I'm not talking. All right, let's get started. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have part 1 of my BEA and BookCon YA and Adult book haul for you. So stay tuned. So I got 64 YA and adult titles at BEA and BookCon. So I decided I'm going to split this into, I think, 2 videos, and I'll do 32 and 32. Each stack here, I have 2 stacks. They're both 32 books. So I think I'll just do 1 stack in this video and the other stack in part 2. And I decided to combine the YA and adult titles just because it can be kind of hard to tell, at least right off the bat, which ones are YA and which ones are adult without reading them. So I just combined them all. Okay, so let's get into this first stack here. The first book I have is Angel Mage by Garth Nix, and he is the best-selling author of the Old Kingdom series. Okay, I have not read Angel Mage, and I do believe I still have that. Let me check. Okay, yes, I do still own that one, and I have not read it. So this says, more than a century has passed since Lilith crept into the empty sarcophagus of Saint Marguerite, fleeing the fall of Ystara. But she emerges from the magical sleep, still beautiful, looking no more than 19, and once again renews her single-minded quest to be united with her lover. Okay, I had to put those crazy animals outside. Okay, where was I? And once again renews her single-minded quest to be united with her lover, Palaniel, the archangel of Ystara. A seemingly impossible quest, but Lilith is one of the greatest practitioners of angelic magic to have ever lived, summoning angels and forcing them to do her bidding. Lilith knew that most of the inhabitants of Ystara died from the ash blood plague or were transformed into beastlings, and she herself led the survivors who fled into neighboring Sarans. Now she learns that angels shun the Ystarans' descendants. If they are touched by angelic magic, their blood will turn to ash. They are known as refusers and can only live the most lowly lives. But Lilith cares nothing for the descendants of her people, save how they can serve her. It is 4 young Saranicans who hold her interest. Simon, a studious doctor in training, Henry, a dedicated fortune hunter, Agnes, an adventurous musketeer cadet, and Dorothea, an icon maker and scholar of angelic magic. They are the key to her quest. The 4 feel a strange kinship from the moment they meet, but do not know why or suspect their importance. All become pawns in Lilith's grand scheme to fulfill her destiny and be united with the love of her life, no matter the cost to everyone else. Okay, so I'm going to grab a random book here and hold it as a placeholder. I'm gonna have to let the dogs back in a second. Hopefully they will have calmed down a bit. All right, hold on. Okay, they're still surrounding me, but at least they seem to be a little bit calmer. Oh my goodness, they were like knocking things off the table and stuff. Okay, continuing on. Okay, next up is a Fodar's travel guide. This is Essential China, and I'm pretty sure this is already out, but okay, I'm not gonna count the travel things because yeah, I'm just not gonna count the travel things like that anyway, because I got those for researching if I, you know, where I want to go and all that stuff. So I don't expect that I'll actually ever sit down and read the whole thing front to back. Okay, so next, but first let's put the dogs back outside. They were not as calm as I thought. They're back outside. Okay. Okay, next up is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. I have read Ace of Shades. Next. Okay, next up is The World Doesn't Require You, and this is a short stories collection by Ryan and Malachar Scott. I believe I unhauled this one, but let me double check. Yes, I unhauled it. Next. Okay, next up is Tell Me Everything by Cambria Brockman. Okay, I do still have this one and I have not read it. So, one second. Grab a random book here. Okay, this one says, a murder at an elite New England college tears apart a group of friends, and one of them is playing a dangerous game. In this electrifying debut in the tradition of In a Dark, Dark Wood and The Couple Next Door. In her first weeks at Hawthorne College, Malin is swept up into a tight-knit circle that will stick together through all 4 years. There's Gemma, an insecure theater major from London, John, a tall, handsome, and wealthy New Englander, Max, John's cousin and a shy pre-med major, Kaylin, a wisecracking prince from Abu Dhabi, and Ruby, a beautiful art history major. But Malin isn't quite like the rest of her friends. She's an expert at hiding her troubling past. She acts as if she is concerned with preoccupations of those around her, boys, partying, all while using her extraordinary insight to detect their deepest vulnerabilities and weaknesses. By senior day, on the cusp of graduation, Malin's secrets and those of her friends are revealed. While she scrambles to maintain her artfully curated image, her missteps set in motion a devastating chain of events that ends in a murder. And as their fragile relationships hang in the balance and close alliances start shifting, Malin will test the limits of what she's capable of to stop the truth from coming out. In a mesmerizing novel that peels back the innumerable layers of a seductive protagonist, debut author Cambria Brockman brings to life an entrancing setting through a story of friendship, heartbreak, and betrayal. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote Tell Me Everything. Oh, and if you wanted me to read Angel Mage, vote for Angel Mage. Okay, continuing on. Okay, this next book is one I'm really excited for, and that is The Odd Sisters, a villain's novel by Serena Valentino. I haven't read that one either. This is not going well. Okay, so this is actually number 6 in the Villains series. Let me see what number 1 is. Okay, number 1, I do believe I have this, but I don't seem to have it marked as owned. So my Goodreads is not 100% up to date, but the first book is Fairest of All, so I would need to read that. So for Fairest of All, it says, the tale of a young princess and her evil stepmother, the Wicked Queen, is widely known. Despite a few variations from telling to telling, the story remains the same. The queen was jealous of the girl's beauty, and this jealousy accumulated in the queen's attempt on the sweet, naive girl's life. Another tale, far less often spoken, is the one that explains what caused the queen to become so contemptuously vile. Still, some have attempted to guess at the reason. Perhaps the queen's true nature was that of a wicked hag, and her beautiful regal appearance a disguise used to fool the king. Others claim that the queen might have hated the girl for her resemblance to the king's first wife. Mostly, the queen is painted as a morally abhorrent woman who never loved another being during the course of her miserable life. In fact, the theories about exactly what caused the queen's obsessive vanity and jealous rage are too numerous to catalog. This book recounts a version of the story that has remained untold until now. It's a tragic tale of love and loss, and it contains a bit of magic. It's the tale of the Wicked Queen. So if you want me to read this, vote fairest of all. And let me put a book as a placeholder. We'll get back to the video. All right, next up. Okay, next up we have Rise by Ellen Goodlett. I have not read Rise. That is a sequel to Rule. Let's see. I don't own Rule, so I would need to read that one first, and I would have to just see if I could find like an audiobook or something for it. But this says, 3 girls with 3 deadly secrets. Only one can wear the crown. The king is dying, his heir has just been murdered, and rebellion brews in the east. But the kingdom of Colonia and the outer reaches has one last option before it descends into leaderless chaos. Or rather, 3 unexpected options. Zofia spent her entire life trekking through the outer reaches with her band of travelers. She would do anything to protect the band, her family. But no one can ever find out how far she's already gone. Kayla was raised on the eastern reach, surrounded by whispers of rebellion and abused by her father. Desperate to escape, she makes a decision that threatens the whole kingdom. Ren grew up in Colonia, serving as a lady's maid and scheming her way out of the servants' chambers. But one such plot could get her hung for treason if anyone ever discovers what she's done. When the king summons the girls, they arrive expecting arrest or even execution. Instead, they learn the truth. They are his illegitimate daughters, and one must become his new heir. But someone in Colonia knows their secrets, and that someone will stop at nothing to keep the sisters from their destiny, to rule. Magic, mystery, and blackmail abound in this sensational and striking fantasy debut. So if you want me to read this, vote Rule. All right, continuing on. Next we have The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. Okay, so I haven't read The Gravity of Us. However, I did unhaul that particular edition, and I ended up purchasing a finished copy. I gave that one to my friend Clint. So I'm just going to mark that one as unhauled. Help me out here. All right, next. Okay, next up, I got not one, but 2 of A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kimmerer. Okay, so I got 2 of those copies so I could have one, and I gave one to Clint. And I have read this, so I'll mark one as read and one as unhauled. All right, next up. Okay, next up is Take the Mic, Fictional Stories of Everyday Resistance by Jason Reynolds, Samira Ahmed, L.D. Lewis, Ray Stovey, Laura Silverman, Sophia K. Brown, Quintero Darcy, Little Badger, Connie Sun, Yamil Saeed, Mendez, and Bethany C. Morrow. I can't remember. Let me see. I have to look it up. Okay, I do still own this one, and I have not read it. It says, a young adult anthology featuring fictional stories of everyday resistance. You might be the kind of person who stands up to online trolls or who marches to protest injustice. Perhaps you are #disabled and cute and dancing around your living room alive and proud. Or perhaps you are the trans mentor that you wish you had had when you were younger. Maybe you call out false allies or stand up to loved ones. Maybe you speak your truth and drop the mic, or maybe you can take it with you when you leave. This anthology features fictional stories in poems, prose, and art that reflect a slice of the varied and limitless ways that readers like you can resist every day. And I'm not going to read all those authors again. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote Take the Mic. Oh, and my battery's flashing. Of course it is. This is chaos, like any of my videos nowadays. Okay, I'm gonna change this battery out and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. The dogs are in. They seem to be a little bit calmer now. Let's hope. Okay, continuing on. Okay, next up we have The Dreaming Tree by Matthew Mather. I feel like I unhauled this one. Let me check. No, it looks like I still have this one, so let me grab a book as a placeholder. This is the first book in the Delta Devlin series. It says, everybody wants to live forever, but some people shouldn't live at all. After a near-fatal car crash, Royce Lowell Vanderwee wakes up to find he's one of the first patients to undergo a radical new procedure, a full-body transplant. Convalescing years later and suffering from waking nightmares, he answers the door at his Long Island home and meets Delta Devlin, a New York detective. She sees things nobody else can, visions created by a mutation to her eyes, and meeting Royce sets off an unraveling chain of events. Royce becomes Devlin's prime suspect in a string of grisly murders. Desperate for answers, he tracks down the grieving widow of the man whose body he now inhabits. Out of time and perhaps his mind, they spiral into a world of black market body parts and billionaires where nothing can stand in the way of living forever, not even death itself. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote The Dreaming Tree. All right, next up. Okay, so this next book sounds like a very, very cheesy YA book, but it could be a fun read. Definitely light, fluffy, definitely a YA book. And that is Throw Like a Girl by Sarah Henning. I unhauled this one. Next. Okay, next up we have The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Season of the Witch. This is a prequel novel by Sarah Reese Brennan. I feel like I unhauled that. Let me check. I did. I don't own that one anymore. Okay. Next. Okay, next up we have Mystery Writers of America presents Life is Short and Then You Die. And this is by several authors. We have R.L. Stine, Barry Lyga, Jonathan Maberry, Melissa Marr, Caleb Roerig. Okay, I'm not going to wait for me to list off all the authors of this. I know I have unhauled that one. So, next. Next up we have The Last Widow by Karen Slaughter. I believe that I've unhauled this one as well. Let me check. Yeah, it was number 9 in a series, so I unhauled that. Okay. Next up. Okay, next up we have The Liars of Mariposa Island by Jennifer Matthew. I also have unhauled that one. Next. Okay, so at this point we are now halfway through one stack. Oh my goodness. So we've gone through 16 books so far. We have another 16 to go. Okay, next up we have A Match Made in Mindy by Nadine Bagpie. I have not read that one, and I'm pretty sure I still have that one. Okay, so let me grab a placeholder. This says 15-year-old Simran Simi Sanja comes from a long line of Indian Vikol matchmakers with a rich history for helping parents find good matches for their grown children. When Simi accidentally sets up her cousin and a soon-to-be lawyer, her family is thrilled that she has the gift. But Simi is an artist, and she doesn't want anything to do with relationships, helicopter parents, and family drama. That is, until she realizes this might be just the thing to improve her and her best friend Noah's social status. Armed with her family's ancient guide to finding love, Simi starts a matchmaking service via an app, of course. But when she helps connect a wallflower of a girl with the star of the boys' soccer team, she turns the high school hierarchy topsy-turvy, soon making herself public enemy number 1. And this is going to be a cute one. So if you want me to read this, vote a match made in Mehendi. All right, next up. Okay, next we have The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake. I don't know about that one. I have to look that one up. Okay, I do still own this one and I have not read it. This says, the Larkin family isn't just lucky, they persevere. At least that's what Violet and her younger brother Sam were always told. When the Lyric sank off the coast of Maine, their great-great-great-grandmother didn't drown like the rest of the passengers. No, Fidelia swam to shore, fell in love, and found Lyric, Maine, the town Violet and Sam returned to every summer. But wrecks seem to run in the family. Tall, funny, musical Violet can't stop partying with the wrong people. And one beautiful summer day, brilliant, sensitive Sam attempts to take his own life. Shipped back to Lyric while Sam is in treatment, Violet is haunted by her family's missing piece, the lost shipwreck she and Sam dreamed of discovering when they were children. Desperate to make amends, Violet embarks on a wildly ambitious mission: locate the Lyric, lying hidden in the watery grave for over a century. She finds a fellow wreck hunter in Liv Stone, an amateur local historian whose sparkling intelligence and guarded gray eyes make Violet ache in an exhilarating new way. Whether or not they find the Lyric, the journey Violet takes and the bridges she builds along the way may be the start of something like survival. So let me grab a placeholder. And I believe at this point we are up to 7, unless I forgot to put a placeholder down. But I don't think I did. Continuing on. Next up we have Tiny by Kim Hooper. I did read this one, but I think I unhauled it. Yeah, I unhauled that. All right, next. Okay, next up we have I Know You Remember by Jennifer Donaldson. I believe I still have this one and I have not read it. This says, Jennifer Donaldson is back with another twisted thriller perfect for fans of One of Us is Lying and Sadie. Zahara Gaines is missing. After 3 long years away, Ruthie Hayden arrives in her hometown of Anchorage, Alaska to this devastating news. Zahara was Ruthie's best friend, the only person who ever really understood her, and she vows to do whatever it takes to find her. Zahara vanished from a party just days before Ruthie's return, but the more people she talks to, the more she realizes that the Zahara she knew disappeared long before that fateful night. Gone is the whimsical, artistic girl who loved books and knew Ruthie's every secret. In her place is an athlete, a partier, a girl with secrets of her own. Darker still are the rumors that something happened to Zahara while Ruthie was gone, something that changed her forever. As Ruthie desperately tries to piece together the truth, she falls deeper and deeper into her friend's new world, circling closer to a dangerous revelation about what happened to Zahara in the days before her disappearance, one that might be better off buried. In her stunning follow-up to Lies You Never Told Me, Jennifer Donaldson once again delivers a propulsive thriller with a masterful twist, skillfully creating a world where nothing is quite as it seems. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote I Know What You Remember. Or I Know You Remember, sorry. The dogs are back at it too, so hopefully they're not too noisy. All right, next up. Okay, next up we have The Library of Lost Things by Laura Taylor Namey. I have read this one. Next. Next up is The Map from Here to There by Emery Lord. Okay, I can't remember if I still have this one or not. Okay, so this is actually, I do still own it. I have not read it, but this is actually book 2, and it doesn't look like I've read book 1, but I own it, which is The Start of Me and You. So let me read you that one. It says, it's been a year since it happened, when Paige Hancock's first boyfriend died in an accident. After shutting out the world for 2 years, Paige is finally ready for a second chance at high school, and she has a plan. First, get her old crush, Ryan Chase, to date her. The perfect way to convince everyone she's back to normal. Next, join a club. Simple. It's high school after all. But when Ryan's sweet, nerdy cousin Max moves to town and recruits Paige for the Quiz Bowl team, of all things, her perfect plan is thrown for a serious loop. Will Paige be able to face her fears and finally open herself up to the life she was meant to live? Okay, so, placeholder. I hope I'm not like doubling up on my placeholders here. If I've missed any or if I'm doubling up, you'll see it in my little tallies and stuff in the corner. And I'll pick the right number accordingly, but I'm just trying to keep up with a good idea of what I have here. So it looks like right now we're at 9. So I'm getting very close. And we still have quite a bit left in this video. And these dogs are getting more and more wound up. All right, continuing on. Next up we have Reverie by Ryan LaSala. I have read Reverie, but I unhauled that and gave it to my friend Clint. So next. Next up we have Dear Haiti, Love Elaine by Micah Moulet and Maritza Moulet. I do still own this one and I have not read it. This one says, co-written by sisters Micah and Maritza Moulet and told in epistolary style through letters, articles, emails, and diary entries. This exceptional debut novel captures a sparkling new voice and irresistible heroine in a celebration of storytelling, sure to thrill fans of Nicola Yoon, Ibby Saboy, and Jenna Evans Welch. When a school presentation goes very wrong, Elaine Beauparlant finds herself suspended, shipped off to Haiti, and writing the report of a lifetime. You might ask the obvious question, what do I, a 17-year-old Haitian American from Miami with way too little life experience, have to say about anything? Actually, a lot. Thanks to the incident, don't ask, I'm spending the next 2 months doing what my school is calling a spring volunteer immersion project. It's definitely no vacation. I'm toiling away under the ever-watchful eyes of Tati Estelle and her new nonprofit. And my lean-in queen of a mother is even here to make sure I do things right. Or she might just be lying low to dodge the media sharks after a much more public incident of her own, and to hide a rather devastating secret. All things considered, there are some pretty nice perks, like flirting with Tati's distractingly cute intern, getting actual FaceTime with my mom, and experiencing Haiti for the first time. I'm even exploring my family's history, which happens to be loaded with betrayals, superstitions, and possibly even a family curse. You know, typical drama, but it's nothing I can't handle. So if you want me to read this, vote Dear Haiti, Love Elaine. All right, next up. Next up we have 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. I have not read this. I'm pretty sure I still own it, so let me check. Okay, I do still own this one, and I haven't read it. And it says, in a sprawling mansion filled with peculiar treasures, January Scaler is a curiosity herself. As the ward of the wealthy Mr. Locke, she feels little different from the artifacts that decorate the halls, carefully maintained, largely ignored, and utterly out of place. Then she finds a strange book, a book that carries the scent of other worlds, and tells the tale of secret doors, of love, adventure, and danger. Each page turn reveals impossible truths about the world, and January discovers a story increasingly entwined with her own. So if you want me to read this, vote the 10,000 Doors of January. What are we at right now? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which means I have to read at least the top 2 voted books. And we are not done with this video. Okay. All right, next. Okay, next up we have The Birthday Girl by Melissa De La Cruz. I have unhauled The Birthday Girl. Next. Okay, next up we have Queenie's Place by Toni Morgan. I have also unhauled that one. Next. Okay, next up is Chilling Effect by Valerie Valdez, and this comes out September 2019. I have also unhauled that one. Next. Okay, next up is, I think this is either a duology or it's just the first 2 books in this series. And it is Crossroads and the Himalayan Crystals, and Crossroads and the Dominion of 4. I have not read, oh my goodness, I have not read either of those. Let me pull them up on Goodreads. Okay, so the first book is the one that has like the fairy on it, and it's Crossroads and the Himalayan crystals. This one says, an ordinary school day in Middlefield turns into a mystical tale filled with endless adventures of magic, fairies, flying horses, and danger. A modern-day saga of 4 young teens who find themselves trapped in another realm, the Otherworld, where they must abide by an evil druid's bidding or risk endangering the lives of their loved ones and the magical beings they have befriended. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote Crossroads. All right, I believe that one's a self-published one as well. Oh, I need to put 2 down since there were 2 there. We're getting close to the end. All right, next up. And then the last book that I'm going to show in this part of the haul is The Storm Crow by Kayla Jofferson. I feel like I unhauled that one. Let me check. No, it looks like I still have that one. I have not read it. This says, Princess Thea was born to be a crow rider, a warrior. In her kingdom of Rodair, magical elemental crows keep the city running. But when the Eleusinian Empire invades, they kill all the crows in a horrible fire that also robs Thea of her mother and mentor. Then Thea's sister, Kayla, becomes the new queen of Rodair. She is forced to agree to a marriage between Thea and the Eleusinian heir in an effort to save her people. Prince Erickson is rude and cruel, and Thea can't imagine traveling into the heart of an enemy city after so much has been taken from her. But before she leaves, she finds a crow egg in the rubble of the rookery. Deep in the heart of Eleusia, she must hatch the last crow, hold her own against the crown prince, and ignite a rebellion to take back what is hers. And now they're going to be barking. Okay, so let me put a book there. If you want me to read this, vote The Storm Crow. And I think that gives us 14. So I do have to pick the top 2 voted books. I don't think I accidentally doubled up that many times. So I think it's still going to fall in the 11 to 14. So yeah, comment down below which book or books you want me to read in the upcoming month. This could have gone a lot worse, but fortunately for me, earlier today I filmed a huge unhaul. I don't know if it will have posted. Well, no, it probably won't post for a while still, because I have other things that need to post first. But there were a lot of those books that I said unhauled were just unhauled. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though it was a chaos. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye.